Welcome to Bacon is My Podcast. Before we get into this show, we do want to let everybody know that we are proudly bringing this show to you from the Den.
Yeah.
That's the Deluxe Edition Network.
Rocking it out.
Found at deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
In the DEN.
That's right. We are a part of an awesome network of really awesome podcasts, such as...
That's a lot of awesome that you just said there.
Yes.
HILF. History I'd like to...
Yes. There's also Beard Laws, Spoiled My Movie.
Yes.
The Deluxe Edition Podcast. There's like 26 different podcasts, so go over there, check it out. DeluxeEditionNetwork.com. Do it now.
We are happy to be one. Thank you so much. What's your bacon?
Hey guys, this is Brian Swamp Barebones Comics, and I'm here to let you know that we have a campaign running right now over on Kickstarter for our horror Evil Dead homage cover for Barebones, Nice Guys Finish Dead. We're very excited to get this out to people. It asks the question, if you had been bullied and harassed your whole life and finally do have power, would you be that good guy, that hero that people can look to? Or would you get revenge on all those that have wronged you? I like to think that a lot of people would say that, yeah, of course I'd be a good person and help people out. But realistically, I think a lot of people would get revenge. This book asks that question. So we'd love to have you over there. Take a look. Go over to Kickstarter.com and look for Barebones Nice Guys Finish Dead. And check us out. We'd love to have you. Thanks.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
Have you noticed some new things on Bacon is My Podcast? We have the new BIMP Lounge.
Yes.
Right? So with that, we're just trying to up our game a little bit here.
That's right.
Right? We're trying to extend our reach. If you want to help us do that, well, one of the ways you can do that is by rocking out with our sponsors. Jump over to baconismypodcast.com, jump to our sponsor page, and check out all of our awesome sponsors. Get all
GrillYourAssOff.com, DrinkWildBills.com, Manscaped, Pod Decks. There's quite a few of them.
Everything's
and we're
there
adding stuff all the time.
with the most recent promo codes and the best deals that you can possibly get. Another way you can help us, get some t-shirts.
Like this one right here. It doesn't come without the sleeves,
It gives you the option.
but it gives you the option.
Yeah, you get it with sleeves. You don't want sleeves, you cut the sleeves off.
That's right.
That's how it works. Then you have a headband if you have like a thin head.
Yes.
I can't use the sleeves as a headband because I have a giant round head.
Yeah, we both do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to baconismypodcast.com. Check out the merch page. Bacon is my fashion.
Yes.
Right.
And you can check out all the latest episodes. It's kind of like a portal to everything Bacon is My Podcast, including our music.
A portal to bacon.
Yes. Including his band, Craving Strange.
Yes,
My band,
his band,
Something Heavy. Also, Bacon is My Passion, the band itself. So
Music coming.
yes. So go ahead, check it out. Costs nothing to look. So go
And
ahead.
then you
and do
should
it.
buy. You break it, you bought it though.
Welcome everybody to another.
Cheers to you, my friend.
Cheers, Dawn.
Cheers.
We're here with Dawn Brodey, the host of the History I'd Like to Fuck podcast, otherwise known as HILF. You've heard Jimmy sing it damn near every
I can't not.
week.
It's in my head.
Before this started, so we have our little den, because we are all a part of the den,
Yes.
the Deluxe Edition Network. That's how we found out about her and her podcast. So like, yeah, so the den, we have a little, what is it? Like a commercial, I guess.
Right.
Kind of, and in that commercial, this guy sings it.
I do.
So it happens every week.
I do sing it in the commercial, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. That makes
So it
me-
happens
I
every
can't
week.
not. And I would like to congratulate you on having one of the two best theme songs for a podcast.
Yeah.
Yours and, of course, Bacon is My
Ours.
Podcast. Ours you can find on Spotify now.
Yes.
You can check it out.
It was so we had this like canned music from, it was like Philomora or something.
Yeah.
And it was just like this, it's like generic rock riff number 6.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he was like, yeah, we should probably like, I think it got pulled or something for copyright.
There was something
some
that said
point.
like, yeah, your song is copyrighted.
Yeah, and then we were like, all right, well, screw it, let's just write one, and 25 minutes later we had written, recorded, and
Indeed.
mastered, and it was supposed to be one for like a Toys of Hope thing.
Right. So all of you people that have heard the intro and you're like, what famous metal singer is on that? No.
Look no
my
further.
friends.
It's called
No, my friends.
Jimmy Garabak.
That is the two of us.
Amazing.
Just going, bigot!
But this isn't about us. This is about Dawn here.
Well, no, it is about us, but
Well, yeah.
It is. I want to know more. I think it's great. I'm a little
entirely-
shocked that you guys did not start the podcast with a theme song. Sometimes, you feel like with you too, you'd be like, well, before we do anything with the neon, because your neon's amazing.
it's not.
Well,
that's
this
a
is
new.
new.
That's a new addition.
This is new.
It's so nice, you guys. It's really nice.
Amazon. It was like $109.
Yeah.
It's so great. It
I'll
looks
send
so
you
cool.
the link. I got you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, I'm in a closet right now. I have behind me my daughter's sketches of stick people, which are
Which
also
is
great.
amazing.
That's all
And
right.
would also look great in
That's
neon.
beautiful.
Well, what's awesome is you're in like a recording booth. So
Yes.
for those of you who don't know, Dawn is not just a podcaster. She is also an actor,
Yes.
a comedian, and you also do like voiceover work.
Voiceover work.
Mhm. Yeah, I do. My bread and butter was voiceovers for years when I lived in Minneapolis. I was the voice of a local grocery chain called Cub Foods. So
Nice.
if you're in the Midwest, you're like, oh, I'm bringing more to your table. That was my thing. It was very
Ah,
Nice.
There it is. There it is.
And I would go to grocery stores every week and do actual like in-store, how do you feel about, the price of cottage cheese? Isn't your family really going to dig these sales? And then we would kind of piece together, audio of like real people being like, yes, this is a wonderful deal, Dawn. And that was very fun. That was like a years-long campaign of being the
incredible.
Cub Foods girl. And then I think one of the funnier ones is Best Buy, which also happens to be a Twin Cities, Minneapolis-based
Right.
place. Their industrial work, and industrials, for those of you who are in the show business, is the really elegant, high-profile stuff, which is never seen by the public, but is generally used for like training purposes, in-house, maybe an award ceremony, announcing a new product, something that is just anything that isn't going to be seen usually by the general public. And I was the voice that trained Best Buy employees on the features of new products. So when I would go into the recording booth, it had to be very kind of small and intimate, because the whole idea is that this person is on their paid break,
Right.
with like an earpiece, and they walk around the store. And when they get in front of a new camera, the sensor comes on, and I'm in their ear going, yeah, that's the Nikon 2442. Now, here's the thing we love about this guy, and it has to be super cool, but like just script. It's just bullet point
Right.
list
Right.
that they kind of need to remember. But these poor fucks would listen to hours of me. Okay. So I would go into a Best Buy, of course, because I need earbuds, and I would found that I had to tell them who I was before I started talking, because they would be like, I would say, hi, I need a thing. And their eyes would start to water. Like I would get like vertigo.
Straight up PTSD.
Because this is the voice suddenly in stereo attached to a human being, And so I finally realized I had to go in, and I put my hand up and say, hi, I am the voice of your audio training. And then just like let them absorb.
I am the voice of God in your ear.
And then I'd say, and I need some disc cleaner, because it's 2004 or whatever year it was.
And don't tell
And-
me why we like it, because I already know.
I already know. And I know all the features. I just need to know where in the
I told you.
store it's hidden. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Do
and
you
now
have any-
now in LA, I audition a lot and do occasional work in like video games and animated features and the fun parts. The reason we want to do it,
Not in the corporate sector.
Do you have any like, I know from the Midwest, like I have these like the local commercials, right, that like burn themselves into your head,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
right? Do you have any favorites that still like you'll wake up like for example, like anybody that's watching from Indiana and everything will remember like Bob Rohrman was like we had these car dealerships. It was like Bob Roar, and it's like a stupid lion head. And all that
Oh
stuff.
my God.
And then we had like a 588-2300
Empire.
like those.
Oh, yeah, those
Yeah.
are great. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So-
and I think that some of them are like really national, but have that local feel. Like, oh, right. Like I think that like some jingles, you're just like, son of a bitch if this shit isn't artistry. And like you guys mentioned my theme song. My amazing friend and the woman who sings on it and composed the whole thing is Kat Perkins, and she is like a wizard with that kind of thing, because she is simultaneously like an artist, a singer-songwriter, like a true, artist, musician. And this girl's been paying her mortgage by being the singer-songwriter you need. Means
That's
you do
amazing.
your O'Reillys if you got to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
means
yeah.
that and she does a lot of, and she's just one of those people. She's so good. She finds the art, and you have to, if you're going to do, you can find the art in doing, these kind of
Yeah.
soulless work. You have to. Otherwise, what is the
There's-
difference between AI? Then why
There's
shouldn't
beauty
we
in the
do
mundane.
this on
There's beauty in the
computers,
mundane. It happens.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right. And I think that, I mean, that's even how we got together with the not that it was
Beauty in the
mundane. No, it wasn't mundane, but it was like, hey, you want to do a song for a movie,
Right,
a vampire
right.
movie? And we're like, yeah, okay, cool, let's do it. We found the art in it.
Absolutely, you got to.
Absolutely.
That's important,
That's the fun part.
right?
You always got to remember that, like, even when it gets like annoying, you still got to be like, it's annoying, but like, I'm making a song.
I could be, yeah,
Like,
But like, so is everything. Even if you're just doing straight art, man. I mean, even Michelangelo had to answer to the Pope. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
sure.
you like, even if it's a movie, like, oh, I'm making this movie, and you're like, well, the movie is art, but like, you still have deadlines, and you still have to be like,
course,
fit
yeah.
a mood. Like, this is the scene where the hero does the thing, and you're like, I get that it's the hero slaying a dragon, but my art is really feeling a sort of derp, 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 derp. And you're like, I'm sorry, this is like, this part of the art is not for you to decide. Like,
Yeah,
give me the thing I asked for,
right.
or give me my money back. And that's what happens no matter who you are. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. Another thing, you're from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I've been to Wisconsin once.
Congratulations.
It was Beloit, Wisconsin, and it was fucking
Oh.
wild.
Yeah. It's college town.
Wisconsin's pretty wild in general.
Well,
Yeah.
what was wild about my like Beloit adventure was it was like for work, and the company I worked for basically owned most of the town of Beloit, and we had to fly into Chicago, take like an hour or whatever bus, and then they were like, okay, they gave us like instructions to print out, and they were like, okay, we're gonna drop you off at this rest stop, and at that rest stop in the northeast corner there would be several vans lined up.
Sure.
And underneath the rugs of those vans are going to be car keys. You're going to take those and then you're going to drive. And I'm like, this is like a rest stop and you can just like fucking do that. And they're like, yeah, they own the town.
They were
It was like
awesome.
mafioso shit.
They were awesome. They would have put different keys under all
Right.
of them and then made you guys like,
Yeah, it made you.
Yeah, but
made
you have to show your tits to the camera
right.
before the
Right.
car will start.
Yeah. But whereabouts in Wisconsin did you?
This is a lot of
Grow
fun
it.
for me to describe because people are usually like, I want to go there, and then too bad I can't go there. It is right in the middle, and if you're looking, this is what people from several Midwest states do. We hold up the shape of the state, which is the hand.
Right.
You flew into Chicago, which is down here. Beloit is up in here. Green Bay is up in here. I am from right in the very center, which is called Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. It is the centermost point of the state of Wisconsin. And I grew up on Wisconsin Street in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, the centermost point in the state of Wisconsin. To get to Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, the centermost point in the state of Wisconsin, you first have to decide if you're going to fly into Chicago or Minneapolis, because both are about 4 hours to drive into Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, the centermost point in the state of Wisconsin. Or you can pay $1,000 more to fly into Mosinee, Wisconsin, which has, the airport for the rich people who own things.
Right.
who can do that.
right.
But that is a crapshoot. That is that flight going to land? All that is a question because it's a cornfield airport, you know. And I love it there. It's a paper mill town. It smells weird.
Pulpy essence.
Yes, but it is. I mean, you talked about Wisconsin, and I think there's some sort of whimsical realities that are true about what people think about Wisconsin. Sometimes I think that stereotypes really do a place well, and in Wisconsin's case, it does. It's like the people are a little gritty, right? We have what we call roadies. I've found as I live in LA, I kind of have a lot of like, come on, it's a roadie. People look at you like, are you fucking crazy? Because we do. We bring drinks with us in the car in between places. You bring a drink.
Right.
Well, yeah.
We understand.
That's actually okay.
Yeah,
That's
I remember
legal.
roadies. I know roadies.
That's legal in like New Orleans as well.
Sure.
You can have up to, I think it's, I forget what it is. I think it's like 16 ounces of alcohol.
Sure.
Right.
Can you drive drunk? No, but you can so you slam your White Claw in the bar and then drive. Is that better for anybody? And like they're like, no, we know we're not supposed to drive with this, but we're also not supposed to go 5 miles over. I feel like bringing a roadie is going 5 miles over the speed limit, kind of like, right. Technically kind of stuff. That is not how a lot of uptight people in Los Angeles feel about it. When you crack a beer and put it in a koozie in the car, they look at you like you're trash. And I'm like, if any fucking people should know about roadies, it's you idiots. You're in the car all the time. It takes forever to get anywhere, and the cops here are never going to pull you over because they see a can.
Right.
You know what I mean? People are smoking bowls, like over the top bowls in their car, and the cops are like, well, what are you going to do?
Guys, we are so excited because Manscaped has upped the game.
See this?
Yes.
What I'm doing?
Yeah, no, that's how smooth.
I couldn't do this if there was hair all over this globe.
That's right.
It'd feel like a grassy knoll.
But instead, he uses the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra.
See that with the grass and the lawn?
I saw that.
Yeah.
It's great. They've got interchangeable dual head system with both a regular razor that you're used to on your lawnmower, but also now a foil blade as well.
Yes, usually I'm not into foil blades, but I gotta say, I'm digging this one.
It's tight. It's
digging
tight.
this one. Yeah, it gets the little crease in the where the leg attaches to the torso, right? Like you had an old action figure and you pulled the leg off, the little ball and socket.
Yeah,
right in there. It gets right in there.
Absolutely.
Right next to your ball and socket. And if you already have one of these, if you already have the 4.0, the upgrade's good, man.
Upgrade is good.
Upgrade is good. It's got all the stuff that you like already. The light is a little bit brighter.
Yes.
Key, it has a lock.
Yes.
So that means in your bag, it won't turn on automatically because you're traveling somewhere and you put some shoes in your bag and you push down on it and it just turns on and then the battery's dead.
That's right.
You can lock it. Awesome feature. Everything else, you've got your ceramic blades, you've got your skin-safe technology, you got all of that is the same and improved, but it's just a better system. Highly recommend.
Go to manscaped.com right now. Use the promo code BACONPOD for 20% off your entire order.
Yes.
You could get the 5.0 Lawnmower Ultra. You can also use it on other products like the Crop Mop, which is our personal favorite. If you ever see us out in the wild,
yes,
you can definitely hit us up and we will give you one of those.
We always have them on us.
Always
ready to give out.
Yes. So again, manscaped.com, promo code BACONPOD, 20% off for free shipping. Thank you, Manscaped. And always remember to ask yourself, are your balls clean?
Mm-hmm. That's my bacon.
Join hosts Dave Houghton and Sarah Ray Talley as they examine the less glamorous side of sports with their podcast, In a Pickle. Follow IAP Radio on social media by going to IAPradio.com. In a Pickle is now part of the Den Network. For more information, go to IAPradio.com.
You know, if they see what looks like a possible beer logo on top of a koozie, nobody's stopping a lane of traffic for that. Come on.
Right.
True. That's very true.
That is true.
But yes, I do love Wisconsin. I can't live there now. But I do look forward to a time in the future where I have long gray hair and I'm shaped like a potato and I just walk around barefoot and give people the
Enjoy the
asparagus
cold.
I don't know what to do with. You know, what my ancestors did. I look forward
Leave
to
your
that.
Christmas lights up all year.
That's
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah.
I can't wait for my house dress.
Yeah. House dress era.
Right.
Can't wait.
I spent the last 2 days in a tiger robe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
And basketball shorts. that was my existence. Walk outside to bring the dog out and just kind of like I live in a legally suspect basement apartment, and my landlords they have cameras over the front door and over their garage. So anytime I bring the dog out and stuff, I'll go out or I'll take the trash out and stuff, and I'll be in my tiger robe. They like to say like, "Oh, we caught some wildlife on the camera." I'm like,
Ah,
sure did.
look at
you
you.
sure did. I'll turn around and look at it and dance around for them.
If you're going to stoop to watch this footage, you may as well make it worth their while.
Exactly.
For sure.
They're fantastic. It's like I said, he know me. So.
That's great.
They're like, "We saw your robe. It's great." It's like, yeah.
That's good. I love legally suspect housing is my favorite. It's only recently actually that I've lived in like places that are zoned and licensed, and it's a real snore.
Right.
Yeah. It is kind of
Yeah, you want
a
that.
letdown.
You always want that. Like, I may have to get out of here quickly. Something.
You're telling me none of these outlets are going to kill me? None of them?
Right.
Not one. Please.
None of them are making noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived in a place once where every time I'd walk by the outlet, I could hear it,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
and I was like, oh,
Cool.
We're not gonna plug things in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd flip the switch, and it would. It's not like a shock. It's like one of those games where it's like, how long can you hold on? You know,
Yeah.
like one of those things.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like that, and I was like, oh, okay.
Right. The outlet that doesn't just have painter's tape over it, but then you've written on top of the painter's tape, "Don't fucking move the tape," or
Right,
everybody
right.
goes up.
Yeah. I actually
Exactly.
for a short period of time in my life, I was actually a home inspector, and all of my friends would kind of like they would invite me to come inspect their houses. Yo, can you come look at this house
you
that I want
sign
to try
this?
and buy and whatever? And I was like, yeah, no problem. And I'd basically like. I wasn't like an asshole because I had 2 home inspections myself,
Right.
where they were like the gutter, the leader doesn't come down 3 feet away from the house and this and that. I'm like, dude, fucking none of them do. Like, are you, what? So a lot of times, like my friends would be like, is this a problem? I was like, dude, no,
Depends on who
it's
you
fine.
are.
Right.
It's fine. It's okay.
It's not a problem for me.
Like this is like here in Long Island, it's like the oldest like suburb in America. So it's like,
Is it really?
yeah, Levittown is the
Oh shit!
oldest suburb in America.
Look at his fucking history on this show.
Wow. Hello. That's kind of my lane.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, could the walls be made by 1x2s? Yeah, probably. What they fucking had.
Right.
But otherwise, I mean, no. Oh wait, hold on. We have a run-in.
I feel like we have a run-in.
This is for you.
We have a run-in.
Thank you. Come here.
Hey.
This is my daughter,
You
Lacey.
can ask her a question. Hi.
Come on, you got to
Did you
get
bring,
in
did
there.
you bring him
Get on-
food? I feel
Move
like
it a little bit. There we go.
Hi. Oh, she ran in to bring you food, though. That's fair. Green light.
What is this?
This is an air fryer chocolate chip cookie.
Lacey, thank you.
Giant. Thank you, sweet face.
Mommy made it.
I love chocolate chip cookies.
Ah.
I would punch an infant for a chocolate chip cookie.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That is amazing. You guys
See,
really,
this is okay.
Camp Lounge has it all.
Kids on the show are okay. Your daughter wouldn't be the first run-in
Yeah, absolutely.
ever.
Run-ins are important. They make
are
life
good.
spicy.
We
Yeah,
have- we have
they're
pets,
that
we have-
topping. They're that
Yes.
salty topping.
They are salty topping.
Yeah, for sure. That was a wonderful run-in.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And brought you
I'm
cookies.
at the
But they
middle.
didn't ask you for anything. That's amazing. Generally speaking, a run-in is demand something from you. Rarely does a
Oh.
run-in just bring you something delicious.
Yeah, nine
Right?
times
Yeah.
out of 10,
Good.
9 times out of 10, it's like, Dad, I'm hungry. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, well, There's fruits and my
Your
kids
kids
are
are also like,
they're
are you guys eating
self-sufficient.
anything? Are you guys eating anything weird that I can eat too?
Right.
That's another thing.
Yeah, they like to do that. Too.
It's like, we're going to do the gross jelly bean test today.
Yeah.
This is amazing what I'm seeing here. You brought your own ice cubes.
Yes.
Because you recognize a need. See, I'm looking here. I'm looking at the bottom of my glass, and I'm thinking, I need a run-in. I need someone to run on in here.
Where's my daughter?
You need a hot tag.
Exactly.
That's what you need.
I need to text. See, that's the other thing. Sometimes I'm a little bit on the opposite side of things than other parents, in the sense of people like, oh God, I just feel like I should wait and to give my child a phone. And I understand all of the things, but I'm like, right now, the idea that I could text my baby and be like, bring mommy one of those little bottles with the man on it, the man with the hat that looks like a pirate hat.
That would be the one.
Is that Captain Morgan? Or is that
That's the captain.
Yeah.
That's the captain.
Did you know that the early colonial founding fathers ripped off their best ideas from the articles of the Gentlemen of Fortune?
Ooh.
That would be the pirate code developed by Blackbeard.
I did not.
I did not. See, this is a learning
Blackbeard.
experience for us too.
Yeah.
Blackbeard had a fantasy of creating a colony in North America where pirates like him could live free, meaning outside of the oppressive thumb of whatever society all of these pirates came from, where they would set up a code that wasn't like kings, that defied this idea of a majesty and born birth, but would be instead an agreement among the crew that they would vote for their captain, they would vote for their actions, whether they took a ship or not would be democratically decided. And that because they would have great might, they would be able to simultaneously enforce these rules and protect their trade, probably be the best individuals in the world at the time to protect lines of trade. And they tried it. And it went fairly well until the war, 7 Years' War ended and they all got annihilated. But you tune into HILF, honey, you'll hear the rest.
There you go.
That's awesome.
A whole episode on that one of these days. I honest to God, I love George Washington so much it makes me crazy. And I'm 2 years in. I've done 50 episodes, and I haven't done George Washington yet. I haven't HILFed my HILF yet.
Right.
Well,
why are you like? What would be the reason not to? What's keeping you from it? You just you don't want to dive that deep. I think you feel like you already know some. Like what's keeping you from it?
I don't know. I think it might be as simple as like, why don't you want to meet your hero?
Right. Well, that's what I mean by dive
right.
too deep. You want to find out something
Because
where you're
I've
like,
read,
I don't want to not like him as much as I do.
Well, no, that much I'm not worried about because the
Okay.
research, I've already read a ton of, like, I've got the research. I've read this slut's journal entries, and like, I've read everything. And I read one of, like, recently too, there's a really hot, actually, you know what it is I need this young hot historian who I love. Her name is Alexis Cole, and she wrote one of the most recent biographies about George Washington called You Never Forget Your First. And it's tough to like write a new piece about George Washington saying something new or revealing, and she's not really trying to reveal, and she's also not trying to shit on him.
Right.
Because like I said, there's he has faults. If you just want to list his faults, I'll get right behind you. In fact, I can help you list even more faults and how colorful they are. But we take individuals, like any individual we love, we ultimately weigh these faults against their noble actions and decide to love them or not.
Also the time that they existed in,
Right.
There are some things that like could be considered faults now that
back then it was just
maybe weren't
well,
seen as
and
such
it's the
then.
thing we all sadly dance around, which is slave owning, which is like you can't overlook slave owning, and even of the time slave owning stuff, you can't really. There were plenty of people of the time that were like, I don't own people.
Right.
There were lots of people that were like, including incidentally the English.
No, that's gross.
Yeah.
Like we're fighting for independence from this group that had abolished their own slave system years before we did.
Mm-hmm.
And so, there's plenty there. In fact, there was even during George Washington's lifetime, there was an abolitionist who wrote to him and was like, buddy, you're the guy. George Washington was one of those few who like lived in a time where they could look at themselves and be like, without ego, being like, I see where I am in the timeline of history. I'm kind of the guy. And he was like, and that your stain is slave owning. It will be the footnote on you for the rest of your existence. Anytime you are mentioned by any noble person in the future, they are going to say, but he owned slaves.
Yeah.
And so the only way to erase that, my guy, the only way to be the real hero everybody wants you to be is to not only free all of the slaves you currently own, but advocate for abolition when you take the reins. And he didn't do that.
Yeah.
Right.
And it sucks. And he
It's
should
so-
have that footnote.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Because
It's so weird when you think about it too. Like the nation of America is so fucking young.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's
we're babies.
insanely young. So like you were saying that, England was already like, yo, dude, get rid of it. Like we made these mistakes already hundreds of years before you. Like let's chill. Like this is not going to be good. It was weird. Like so I my wife and I, we watch a lot of like paranormal shit, and so like a lot of it is based in the U.S., but we started watching something like based in Scotland, and just the buildings that they go to and the years that they're from, it's like holy shit. Like when we see stuff like from the late 1800s here in the US, we're like, whoa, that's crazy. I can't believe that house is still standing. And then you look at something from like Scotland and that was like 1200, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, well, America's fucking new.
And you're singing my song, man. And when you really aren't sure where it falls in, you go, well, the origin of the history of the United States of America starts with a shooting. Right? The Boston Massacre.
Right.
So the origin, our history is so like that we tell our origin story from the view of like, well, there was this shooting in the streets. Like, whoa, no wonder it's still so tied up in our present, because it's part of our soup. It's part of our origin. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In the same way that you look at California, the state I live in, and you're like, the stories you know about our quote unquote founding Californians, everybody drove here.
Right.
Right.
They drove here because California and the contemporary California and the modern history was made by people who drove. That's how young it is. America's history starts with a gunpowder and sophisticated weapons. So that is, in terms of like knowing history, you're like, we are, and we like to tell our story within the range of the pharaohs and in the sight lines of kings and queens, and we should, because the line of history is long, and the beauty of it is that it all connects. But it is certainly important occasionally to like, but wait, we're 250 years old. We's itty bitty babies.
Right.
I mean, you want to look at the lens of history now. As you and I speak, of course, there is a shitstorm in Gaza. Gaza is, among many other things, a geographic place that can be defined by certain boundaries. Right. And Gaza was considered the most peaceful city on earth for 600 years. That is 3 times the amount of time that our nation has existed. Gaza not only existed, but was one of the most peaceful places on planet Earth. And, this is pre-Cleopatra, you know what I mean?
Right.
And you can understand how people get a little chip on their shoulder, especially if they live in this region, when they hear Americans from this bouncing baby country tell them about the history of Gaza and how things, you know what I mean? I can understand.
Right.
And this isn't even me taking any kind of side, because I haven't. I don't.
Well, no.
You know what I mean? Because my business is the past.
But we are
I leave the present to somebody else. It's too complicated. But I can tell you that in the past, that place was utopia. It was paradise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For a long time.
I just find it amazing. Funny enough, I was just talking to somebody about this the other day about when I went to China, the experience of walking on streets and walking into buildings and just having that knowledge of like, there were like wars fought here on like right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like this building was around then.
Mm.
And
it's wild.
Like shit went
real,
down.
isn't it?
In this room, and it was such an interesting and cool kind of experience to have that idea of like, there were samurai right here, which blows my fucking mind.
Right.
It makes you want to buck it, right?
Yes,
it's so fuckable. I think it's something. It's similar. It feels similar, I think, to when I look at the stars. Like looking into the vastness of history is like looking into space, where you just get those tantalizing little flickers where you go, I'm so tiny. I'm so tiny.
Right.
A itty bitty teeny weeny, right? And then sort of the exhale of that thought, which is, I am here in the midst of this miraculous existence. What a god I am to be able to move within this world. Like, oh man, like if that doesn't curl your toes, if you can't sprinkle that on your wedge salad, then are you even alive?
It is the blue cheese of life.
It is.
Takes over everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So I had a question, like, so in doing this show and doing all the research, when was a time, because I can think of times where I have something that I think is really cool and I want to learn about it. And I start to learn about it, and then I learn things that obviously take you down other paths and other directions, and you start learning about like how everything's connected to everything else. But every now and then you learn something and it just blows your fucking mind, and you're just like, oh, I thought I knew where this was going and I did not.
Yeah.
Like when was like a time that like pops into your head about something that you were researching that did that to you, that you just kind of like, you thought it was going one way and all of a sudden you were just like, oh, this is a different show now. Holy shit.
Yeah. I love that, for one thing, because it's like there's a reason why we love it in our fiction, and it's because when it happens in our nonfiction, it feels just as, sort of bewildering and tantalizing. I had it fairly recently in a subject that was assigned to me about the Battle of Blair Mountain, which was a conflict in southern West Virginia in the early 1900s, and it's a labor fight. It was a fight between union mine workers against these mine owners. And it was a history I didn't know anything about. And my guest assigned it to me because he had read about it in sort of a footnote of another story and thought, oh my God, like I've never heard anything about this. It's this huge battle. And it was between the government and these striking union workers. And it was armed and bloody and so unjust, right? And like, he was like, yeah, I thought that was kind of crazy. I bought my book, and read my book. And very few subjects have had me stand up as I'm reading and sort of walk around the room indignant or shocked or, whatever.
Right.
And I think that, but there is an instance in that history that I have encountered before that impacts me the same way, that is always so shocking and heartbreaking to me. And it is a moment when, for lack of a better word, the hero of a story, knowing stories have many sides, but using sort of stock character words, right? The hero of our story, a good guy, a person who is fighting for the side of justice, is endeavoring primarily for exposure, feeling that the reason that this particular injustice is happening and being allowed to continue to happen is because people just don't know about it. It's in the dark. It's happening in secret. It's happening behind closed doors. It is being obscured. There is corruption here. And as soon as I publish this article, make this documentary, or tell the Queen, or get this memo out, or, get the message to the Death Star, whatever the plot line is, that is this small justice moment just simply needs to let the world work. Because once the world knows, fill in the blank, these kids are getting beaten, this money is being extorted, they're throwing these pollutants in the seas, the icebergs, whatever the fuck, right. They're abusing these miners. Once the world knows, they will rise up. They won't stand for it. They will see this injustice for what it is. They will come here and they will save us. They will stop this. They will whatever. And you spend the history on the edge of your seat to find out if they are able to let the world know, if that message does get the plans for the Death Star up to the ship, right? And then they publish it, the documentary is made, the expose is released, and we, the general public, do feel the pain, call it injustice. Maybe we even agree something must be done. And then nothing changes. Those are the ones that have happened since antiquity that not only break my heart, but have the rare opportunity for me, because I'm a mega optimist, right, have a rare opportunity to make me a cynic, which I think is the biggest evil, you know?
Right.
And so Those are hard. Those will kill you. You know, and back to my Revolutionary War history. There's a moment in Revolutionary War history where Henry Knox goes through fucking hell, goes through this meat grinder to get some cannons to a fight that needs 3 fucking cannons. You know what I mean? And this is like yet another where it's like, we don't get these 3 cannons, we're dog meat, it's all fucking over, democracy dies. And he goes through crazy shit, and it's ice, and it's slipping, and it's death, and it's Indians, and it's defections, and it's British, and it's just a mini series. And he gets, you know, these 3 cannons to the fight, and they fight, and then the battle's over. And it's like that sort of feeling where you go, I did it.
Right.
I put my whole heart and body and life. I would have died 10 times. I almost did die 10 times for the sake of this thing that was a poof, a tss. You know, and I don't know. And I think a lot of us in our own individual lives can sort of identify with that. You know, you think once I graduate from high school, I'll be a full human and my story will be over. Once I fill in the blank, you know, do this one thing, the credits will roll and my movie will be done. But then you just have to keep waking up, paying your fucking bills, and like not eating cheese as much as you want. And you're like, God, jeez, what's the point? Why do we keep doing this?
Yeah.
especially the artists.
Yeah. The artists are.
I just got to move to New York and start a band, get on tour.
Yeah.
Things are really going to open up for me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to move to LA.
I'm going to move to LA. Be a big movie star.
And maybe you are. And here's the other thing that'll really kick you in the shins.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Feldman. Sad Corey Feldman, who performs with his band all over LA.
Oh my God.
And you sit there and go, oh my God, because then sometimes you're Sisyphus, man. You rolled your boulder up and it got to the top and you were Corey Feldman and you were in everything. And then you spend the next 40 years of your life being a joke. Being some sad guy that people like book for nostalgia reasons. And then they put embarrassing videos of you on TikTok. Come on, man.
So I recently saw a video it was a reaction video to some Corey Feldman stuff.
Oh my God.
And the person doing the video was like, so I'm going to pose a question to all of you watching right here. And he goes, he was like, I'm in a band. I've had many of these things happen. Now, either this dude is so unlucky that all these things happen at every show over and over and over again. Like things like, you know, he's like, so this guy who's obviously a very good dancer has no spatial awareness and keeps kicking the mic into his mouth, or this he'll start a show and in the middle of the big intro turn around and start yelling at the guy to turn the house lights on or the house lights down and things like that. And he's like, now I think this is all a brilliant act because all this stuff gets people to say things, it gets people to watch, it gets people to do things. I think he's going method. I think we're all in on the gag. I think we're not in on the gag, and I think he's doing a brilliant.
If you've seen,
he's nailing this.
He's been doing this for a long time. Like back when I was in the same studio as you.
Yeah,
we were watching videos of. They put him on like morning TV, like Today Show and stuff like that, and he was pulling the same shit, and you were just like, whoa.
So it's everybody likes to see a train wreck. So what's more brilliant than being
orchestrating the train wreck?
I hope you're right, because that would be a very beautiful thing. Do you remember like Bobcat Goldthwait when he would do that bit, and then it was like sort of in the late 90s, he was like, I am not developmentally delayed in any way. I have no speech pathological reason to do this. It was a bit. It was a character. I'm going to stop doing it now. And I need everyone to like, just like be cool with that. But there was something that was sort of like empowering about watching a guy who couldn't even get his words out, even though it was beautifully written and incredibly well orchestrated. You know how intentional it was. There was something really kind of fun about watching. But I hope you're right about Corey Feldman. I really do. Because if he really is just like living out your worst nightmare in every show so that you don't have to, you know, if he's just like, you're not making music because you're afraid you'll look like an idiot.
Right.
You're afraid everyone's
if he's just like, if he's like, this is an entertaining he's an entertainer.
Right.
You know, he's like this is an entertaining show. And he even brought up, like, he like went in close on a couple of the ones where he was kicking the mic back into his own face. And he was like, if you look, he's like, one, he's dancing all around the mic to begin with. Right. Then he goes up to the mic and it comes back to go in his face. He's got his lips out like this. He's not going to knock his teeth out.
But if he went like full Andy Kaufman, we'd
Right.
catch on. He can't.
Right.
He can't.
Right. So he's got to have he's got a guitar cable that's too short. So every time he spins, it unplugs from the amp, and then he starts yelling at the sound guy, and the
Right.
crowd immediately picks up their phone and goes, "Oh my God, he's going to go off." Meanwhile,
I'll tell you what. I think if I'm if I'm investigating this, I would think that the possibility of it being intentional is very high. But I don't think that intentionality is coming from Corey Feldman himself. I think that Corey Feldman is sort of like a rich, burned out guy who doesn't have to do well. And so he doesn't rehearse really hard. He just kind of has that magical thinking, which is I'm just going to show up and kill it. Mm-hmm. But he might have someone in his circle who knows him and loves him enough to know that if they always give him a short chord and put that mic stand with a little bit of a wobble, he'll make some content.
Right.
And they're technically helping their friend Corey.
I hope
some clicks.
it's an Andy Kaufman situation. I really do.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I really hope.
I think Brittany's having a hard time though. I don't think Captain Dances with Knives is doing that with a broad, open satire. I think that's a sad decline.
Yeah, that's been rough to watch. I mean, like the shaving the head thing for a little while. Like I've always said, like when she was shaving the head, it was like, man, I don't know. She's kind of like attainable hot now.
Well, that's fair, and I think it was also a true act of rebellion in its purest form.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was,
that's what I
hard, most beautiful. You can't be a beautiful woman. You know, the stereotype is you can't be bald. Like you can have all sorts of things. But if you're bald, you can't be beautiful. And if everybody is indexing and selling her for her beauty, the most immediate thing she could do to take that from them was shave. I thought it was kind of badass.
Yeah.
The least painful way to do it.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty badass.
But I thought it was pretty badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take it back to Bob Goldthwait for a second. Did either of you see the comedy special where he did drop the whole act?
Yeah.
Like,
Great.
he had it for most of the special, and then he came out at the end and sang a U2 song.
Yeah.
And sang it like beautifully.
Like dead on. Like,
yeah. Cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's incredible. I sent you the text. One of my favorites, Lewis Black, is retiring from touring.
Yes.
He's retiring at the end of next year.
I've really enjoyed his YouTube though.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I love Lewis Black. I haven't seen
fantastic.
his YouTube stuff, but I am a fan.
Yeah.
He's like just keeps putting out new stuff, which is great. You know,
it's funny. I'm not an angry person. Like I'm a happy.
Yeah.
Right.
But I can tell when people are being angry to bring you joy.
Yes.
And I can tell like his anger is his joy, and it also brings you joy.
Exactly.
I think it was a perfect choice for that emote. That cartoon. What was that? The Disney.
The feeling. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not only does he personify rage, but to the point of making you a whole person. It's all very dignified.
Jimmy enjoyed some of his cookie.
I enjoyed all of my cookie.
You ate the whole thing already?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have some.
I didn't know we were recording right now, but okay, cool.
But
I was answering a text. I'm answering a text. It's unprofessional. I'm being unprofessional.
we're
Unprofessional.
hashtag professional.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are the cookies that we got.
Yeah. You saw them being brought in.
Yeah. Which is also hashtag professional. AF.
I think that is professional. You have staff
Right.
that brings in snacks.
Exactly.
I don't have a staff that brings in snacks.
I have kids.
Staff. If you call them staff, it sounds more professional.
It does.
Yeah.
Guys, this episode was a lot of fun, but not even halfway over.
Clearly, you see that it wasn't over, but it was like, yo, let's give our peeps a break. So we're going to give you a break. Come back next week, and we're going to finish our episode with Dawn. And it's awesome. God, it's like, she's awesome.
And in the meantime,
She's in the running for best guest.
yeah, early year 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or was it?
Four.
It's going to be the fourth
Year
annual BIMP Awards.
Yeah.
Number
Already.
first ballot.
Top of the heap.
I agree. You can finish this. I'm still eating my
Yeah,
cookie.
so yeah, that's the end of today's episode. Come back next week for the continuing saga of Dawn.
The saga.
HILF Podcast. We're going to talk about a lot more stuff. We're going to talk about an amazing story of when she felt most like a pirate when she lived on a boat. So there's nudity, there's drugs, there's
Dude,
everything.
you had me at pirate.
Yeah, exactly. So come back for that. But until then, you can find me at Jimmy G's Shoes on all the socials. You can find my band Craven Strange at cravenstrange.net. You can find Mike at me, my own self, Mike, on all the socials. You can also find his band Something Heavy at Something Heavy Music everywhere. And you can find us at baconismypodcast.com, where you can buy some shirts, help us out, or just listen to episodes, find everything. Wherever you listen to this, wherever you stream your podcasts, subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a review, all that kind of stuff. It helps us. It helps the algorithm. It's all that kind of good stuff. So please do that. And if you want to help us out even more, jump over to patreon.com/baconismypodcast and join one of the tiers. You guys would be awesome. We would love it. It would be amazing. Thank you so much. And remember to ask yourself every single day,
What's your bacon?
see ya.
World peace.
I see what you're doing. You're popping in, you're watching the show, you're listening to the show, you're like, I really like their interviews. Or you're like, I don't like their interviews at all, but I do like 7 questions. Or you're like, man, I wish more people knew about this show because these guys are fun and these guys are cool. How can I help?
Well, one of the best ways to help is by going over to patreon.com/baconismypodcast and joining our Patreon. We've got awesome 3 tiers starting at $3 per month where you will get live stream shows on all of our discussion and drinks.
Every week.
Every week.
Every week, a live stream that you can join in on, you can weigh in on, you can jump in the chat, you can jump in the little community. our little
Interact
BIMP
with
squad.
us.
We got a cool squad over there too, so you can meet people, make friends. We're all about that. Also, you can learn some cooking tips from us.
Yeah.
We got a few of those up there. You can try some of our dishes out.
Yeah. You can also watch us eat horrible shit.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Now, when we cook stuff, it's delicious, but the stuff that we eat is not.
Yeah, that's no.
Totally
It's
separate.
never fun.
Separate thing.
Yeah, but go ahead, go over there. There's tons of new content. We have early music releases. We've got live streams. We've got watch-alongs. We've got all sorts of stuff. Go to Bacon is My Podcast's Patreon today and sign up and be part of the BIMP squad.
Totally helps us out, guys. Thank you so much. Cheers to you. What's your bacon?